Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Srivasadi Gauri Bhaktavin. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 5. We are towards the end of the purport of text 51. Does anyone remember any main point from yesterday? Anything that struck anyone?
Hare Krishna. Yes.
Hare Krishna.
So, Hare Krishna. So, we started very well actually yesterday. We saw about how Prahlāda Mahārāja, because he was always thinking of the Lord, Lord Govinda, we heard his name. Lord Govinda, Lord Krishna personally protects him. And because he was always in that exalted consciousness, he was always protected. He was always having that understanding, and he was always fully engaged in meditating upon Lord Vishnu. And his
Very
deep
good.
connection with the Lord, with his spiritual master and Lord Vishnu, helped him situate in complete fearlessness. And also he saw Krishna within everyone and everything. He was seeing Krishna everywhere. And this is what, by the mercy of Lord Krishna and mercy of the spiritual master, we get spiritual knowledge and spiritual understanding. And through the service attitude, we can understand, we get the guidance to be fully engaged in meditating upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and just thus be protected by the Supreme Lord. Yeah.
Very good. Thank you.
Hare
Yeah,
Krishna.
so we heard, thank you. That how, because he was fully always remembering the Lord, that's how the Lord protected him. He was fearless at the lotus feet of the Lord. So it gives us great encouragement that if we take complete shelter of the Lord, we are sure to get the Lord's protection also. Yes, thank you. So we're going to continue with this purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. A devotee purified by devotional service is always in the transcendental position above the mundane qualities. So pure devotee is liberated. This is what Prabhupada is saying. That's what the scriptures also say. A pure devotee, even though he is in the material world, he's actually liberated. It's not affected by the modes because his consciousness is how I can please Krishna. His consciousness is not how I can enjoy myself, but his consciousness is how I can please Krishna. Thus, the difference between Prahlāda Mahārāja and Hiranyakashipu was that Hiranyakashipu wanted to keep Prahlāda in mundane attachment, whereas Prahlāda was above the modes of material nature. As long as one is under the control of material nature, his occupational duty is different from that of a person not under such control. So one who's liberated, his duty is hearing and chanting. He's glorifying the Lord 24/7. One's real dharma, occupational duty, is described in Srimad Bhagavatam. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavad pranitam. That is the real dharma, that we surrender to Krishna. So as described to his order carriers by Dharamraj or Yamraj, a living being is a spiritual identity, and therefore his occupational duty is also spiritual. So we are spirit souls. This is under illusion we are thinking we are the body. And because of that, we are thinking we have our dharma is related to the body. But actually our real dharma is spiritual. The real dharma is that which is advised in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharman Parityagya Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. One must give up one's material occupational duties, just as one must give up his material body. Whatever one's occupational duty, even according to the Varna Sharma system, one must give it up and engage in one's spiritual function. One's real dharma, occupational duty, is explained by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Jivera Swarupaya Krishnera Nityadas. Every living being is an eternal servant of Krishna. That is one's real occupational duty. So our real duty is we are servants of Krishna. And because we don't want to do it, we avoid it, we take up so many other duties. But our real duty actually is to serve Krishna. So one may say, oh, but well, I have so many responsibilities in the material world. Do I have to give it up? No, Krishna never tells us to act irresponsibly. Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna is telling Arjuna, you fight. You fight. So we don't give up, we don't act irresponsibly, but we understand that the Krishna is the Supreme Lord and we are his servant, and we are meant to engage everything in Krishna's service. So whatever position we are in, we act in that way. Serve Krishna, please Krishna, do our duties for the pleasure of Krishna. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Going on, 52. Dharmam artham cha kamam cha.
Dharmam artham cha kamam cha.
Nitaram cha anupurvasha.
Nitaram janupurvashah.
Prahlāda yochattu rajan.
Prahlādaya Chaturrajan.
Prashrita vanataya cha.
Prashita vanataya cha.
Thereafter, Shanda and Amarka systematically and unceasingly taught Prahlāda Mahārāja, who was very submissive and humble, about mundane religion, economic development, and sense gratification. There are 4 processes for human society: dharma, artha, kam, and moksha, and they culminate in liberation. Human society must follow a process of religion to advance. And on the basis of religion, one should try to develop his economic condition so that he can fulfill his needs for sense gratification according to the religious rules and regulations. Then liberation from material bondage will be easier to attain. That is the Vedic process. So the Vedic process, dharma, artha, kam, moksha. That's what Vedas call religion. That we do some pious activity, get pious result. Because of this pious result, we get some opulence, some money, some position, some ways in which we can enjoy. And then there'll be a time where we may able to be understand that, oh, there's not much enjoyment actually. I need to give up this world. So one may then come to moksha, liberation. So when one is above the stages of dharma, artha, kama, and moksha, one becomes a devotee. He is then on the platform from which he is guaranteed not to fall again to material existence. Yad gatvana nivartante. As advised in Bhagavad Gita, if one transcends these 4 processes and is actually liberated, one engages in devotional service, then he is guaranteed not to fall to material existence again. So we are being advised not to engage in material activities, because material activities are going to keep us in the material world. We are being advised to take up devotional service, which is a spiritual activity, which can help us to come to the spiritual world, come to the spiritual platform, get liberated, because after all, we are not the body, we are the soul. We have forgotten. We keep forgetting that we are not the body, we are the soul. We keep thinking we are the body. So we keep thinking in terms of the body. But the fact of the matter is we are souls, spirit souls. So Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam is helping us understand how we can actually be situated in the position of soul, how we can realize we are the soul, engage in devotional service. And that is a spiritual activity. Okay. So if it's all right, we'll go on to the next one. Yathatri Vargam Guru Bir.
Yathatri Vargam Guru
Atmane Upashikshitam.
Atmani
Atman upashikshiktam
na sadhu mene takshiksham
na
sadhu mene tachiksham
dvandvara mo pavarnitam.
Dvanda ara
Dvara
Nitam.
pavarnitam.
The teacher Shanda and Amarka instructed Prahlāda Maharaj in the three kinds of material advancement called religion, economic development, and sense gratification. Prahlāda, however, being situated above such instructions, did not like them, for such instructions are based on the duality of worldly affairs, which involve one in a materialistic way of life, marked by birth, death, old age, and disease. So Prahlāda Maharaj, he's very tolerant, he's very humble. He's sitting and listening to what his teachers are saying, but his consciousness is much higher. He's a Mahabhagavat. He's not interested to hear all this material affairs. This is all to do with the body. The entire world is interested in the materialistic way of life. Indeed, practically 99.9% of the people in the three worlds are uninterested in liberation or spiritual education. Only the devotees of the Lord, headed by such great personalities as Prahlāda Maharaj and Narad Muni, are interested in the real education of spiritual life. It's true, no? Because there's so many people in the world. How many are actually interested? How many actually are trying to understand, oh, I'm not the body, I'm the soul? How many? And out of those who are trying to understand, I'm not the body, I'm the soul, how many are trying to understand Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam? So the devotees, one cannot understand the principles of religion while staying on the material platform. Therefore, one must follow these great personalities as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 6.3.20. Swayambhur Narada Shambhu Kumara Kapilo Manu Prahlādo Janako Bhishmo Balir Vayasakir Vayam. So Prahlāda Maharaj, he's one of the Mahājan. Bhagavatam is telling us, follow in the footsteps of the Mahājans. We become like who we follow, right? We get those qualities of the person we follow. So Bhagavatam is telling us, follow the Mahājans to get these godly qualities, divine qualities. One must follow in the footsteps of such great personalities as Lord Brahma, Narad, Lord Shiva, Kapila, Manu, the Kumaras, Prahlāda Maharaj, Bhishma, Janak, Bali Maharaj, Sukadev Goswami, and Yamaraj. So these are the 12 Mahājans mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. We also have the contemporary Mahājans. We have Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. We have the 6 Goswamis. We have Srila Prabhupada. Following in the footsteps of the Mahājans. Not imitating. We can't imitate these great personalities. So those interested in spiritual life should follow Prahlāda Maharaj in rejecting the education of religion, economic development, and sense gratification. One should be interested in spiritual education. Therefore, the Krishna consciousness movement is spreading all over the world, following in the footsteps of Prahlāda Maharaj, who did not like any of the materialistic education he received from his teachers. Prahlāda is not interested. He's not interested to know politics. He's not interested how to capture his enemies. He is Mahabhagavat, seeing everyone equally. Because he knows that what they are trying to teach him is temporary. It's full of suffering. Yadacharya paravrato.
Yadacharya paravritto
Grahamedhiya karmasu.
grahamedhiya karmasu
Vayasyer balakestatra.
vayasye balakestatra
Sopahuta kritashane.
sopahuta kritachane.
When the teachers went home to attend their household affairs, the students of the same age as Prahlāda Maharaj would call him to take the opportunity of leisure hours for play. So during recess time, in tiffin hours, the hours when the teachers were absent from the classroom, the students called Prahlāda Maharaj, wanting to play with him. as will be seen from the following verses. However, Prahlāda Maharaj was not very much interested in playing. Instead, he wanted to utilize every moment for advancing in Krishna consciousness. Which child is going to say, I don't want to play? He's 5 years old. All children want to play. But he's like not interested. Instead, he wants to continue to remember Krishna, serve Krishna every moment. Therefore, as indicated in this verse by the word Krita Shane, at the opportune moment, when it was possible to preach about Krishna consciousness, Prahlāda Maharaj used the time as follows. So he got a good opportunity to preach. So now he's going to preach. And Prahlād, Hiranyakashipu, tried to kill him in so many ways. So many ways he tried to kill him. Poison, elephants, tridents, snakes, throwing him off cliff. Somebody, if it's us, we'll have, what do you say? We'll say we have PTSD, we have complex trauma, we have, we'd say we're never going to forgive you. I don't know what not kind of emotions we would build up. And here, Prahlād is still very calm. Huh? Can see how great a person he is.
And Hare Krishna, Shilpaji, this also shows that how powerful association of Mahabhagavat is. Because he had the association when he was in the womb of his mother. But because he had the association of a pure devotee like a Mahabhagavat, Narad Muni, he heard it from, so it was so powerful that at the age of 5, he was able to preach also.
Yeah.
And 24 hours, he was just remembering Krishna. So I think association is also very, very important.
Yes, of course.
How
Association,
we
very
associate.
important.
Very important.
Yes. Prabhupada would say it's like, what, 90% or something.
Yeah.
Success. Association, very important. Yes, thank you. Atha tansh lakshanaya vacha.
Athatanshalakshanaya vachan
Pratyahuya mahabuddha.
Pratyahuya mahabuddha.
Vacha vidvamstan nishtam.
Uvacha vidvam satnishtam.
Kripaya prahasan iva.
Kripaya prahasan iva.
Prahlāda Maharaj, who was truly the supreme learned person, then addressed his class friends in very sweet language. Smiling, he began to teach them about the uselessness of the materialistic way of life. Being very kind to them, he instructed them as follows. So he is now going to tell them. Sorry, I'll just add one point to what we were saying. Association, very important. But what we are doing in the association, because like Kayadu, she also had the association of Narad Muni. But she was sleeping. But Prahlād was hearing from Narad Muni. So that's how we actually associate. We hear. Hearing and chanting in the association of devotees, that's why it's called. That's the correct way to associate with a Mahabhagavat, that we hear from them. We get the instructions. Yeah?
Yes.
Because Kayadu, she was having association also of Narad Muni. And she was sleeping though.
Yes.
It just shows from this pastime. Yeah. Okay. So Prahlāda Maharaj's smiling is very significant. The other students were very much advanced in enjoying materialistic life through religion, economic development, and sense gratification. But Prahlāda Maharaj laughed at them, knowing that this was not actual happiness. For real happiness is advancement in Krishna consciousness. We are thinking, we are going to improve better materially, and that's good. Get good education, get good job, get good connections, and then we are materially very set, and this is the goal of life. That's what we are thinking. Prahlāda Maharaj, he knew this is not real happiness. Real happiness is Krishna consciousness. The duty of those who follow in the footsteps of Prahlāda Mahārāja is to teach the entire world how to be Krishna conscious and thus be really happy. So here we can see Prabhupada's mood, how his mood is to follow the footsteps of Prahlāda Mahārāja, to preach to everyone. And also Prabhupada's mission. He wants to preach everyone and he wants us to take up this mission of Lord Chaitanya, to give Krishna consciousness to everyone. Materialistic persons take to so-called religion to get some blessings so that they can improve their economic position and enjoy the material world through sense gratification. It's true, no? We say, please bless me so I can enjoy more. We go to some pious people, we go to some sadhu, some sage and tell them, please bless me so I can enjoy more. But devotees like Prahlāda Mahārāja laugh at how foolish they are to be busy in temporary life without knowledge of the soul's transmigration from one body to another. So we are asking blessings to be happy in this material body, but we don't realize, I have to give up this body at one time. It's not going to be with me. It's not who I am. But Prahlāda Mahārāja knows it. And that's why he's giving this knowledge. Materialistic persons are engaged in striving for temporary benefits, whereas persons advanced in spiritual knowledge, such as Prahlāda Mahārāja, are not interested in the materialistic way of life. Instead, they want to be elevated to an eternal life of knowledge and bliss. Eternal life of knowledge and bliss. Therefore, as Krishna is always compassionate to the fallen souls, his servants, the devotees of Lord Krishna are also interested in educating the entire populace in Krishna consciousness. So Krishna and his devotees, compassionate. Krishna is very compassionate. His devotees are also very compassionate. Because of their compassion, they are taking up so much for our benefit, taking up so much suffering, so much inconvenience. Why? To give us this knowledge of Krishna consciousness so that we don't have to suffer. That is their compassion. This is Krishna's compassion. He wants to bring us back home. We got envious of him. We are envious of him. We want to become take away his position. He's not saying, oh, you are envious of me. You want to take my position. I'm never going to talk to you. He's not saying that. Still in our heart. He's telling us, come back to me. Come back to me. So compassionate. The mistake of materialistic life is understood by devotees and therefore they smile upon it, considering it insignificant. Out of compassion, however, such devotees preach the gospel of Bhagavad Gita all over the world. So here Prabhupada's compassion, because of his compassion, he traveled everywhere. Old age, no money, so many heart attacks, but he was so compassionate to all of us. Comments, questions? Anything to add?
All thanks to Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah.
Yeah. We wouldn't get that knowledge of Prahlāda Mahārāja and how just even a 5-year-old can be such a pure devotee.
Yeah.
We are so far off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Shilpa ji, there is this book, Teachings of Prahlāda Mahārāja. And it's a very small book. And now I realize that why that book was there, because sometimes there might be people like me who wouldn't be able to read Bhagavatam. But at least I would be connected to Prahlāda Mahārāja teachings. That's why that book was put into a very important section of 12 sets of small books of Prabhupada.
Yeah.
Even like how you can touch people's heart by just giving them books. Like how Prabhupada's mission was to, give books. And now I understand that how important those small books are. And how beautifully that book, because it explains the same things, the teachings of Prahlāda Mahārāja, right? So there are these parts, chewing the chewed and everything. So how beautifully that part is chosen and put there. That what is really Prahlāda Maharaj, through Prahlāda Maharaj, what we should be learning.
Yeah.
Now I understand, like, like how beautifully that book is being, and I don't know, by grace of Srila Prabhupada or great devotees, I got the good fortune to read. I came in association of that book. So,
very good. Yeah, it's the mercy of the devotees, right? This
yes,
the devotees, they're giving us a book, they're giving some, they're chanting near
yes,
us or
they give us
something. It's all,
anything. They just want to give because they know that how important it is.
yeah, it's the
So
mercy of
that's
the
when I
devotees.
read, and now it's clicking that like how Amrendra Prabhu kept a special session for Prahlad Maharaj teachings and how important it is. Sometimes people might think that what he will teach is a 5-year-old boy. What can he teach or what can he say? Sometimes like the materialistic people like me can and think that. But we don't know that how powerful, how a pure devotee he is and what he can give us.
Yeah, so true. So true. Yeah, thank you. And we just heard that the devotees are compassionate. Krishna is compassionate, his devotees are compassionate. And that's why they're out there distributing books, they are there doing Harinam, giving Krishna consciousness to everyone. Yes. Thank you. Tat te tu tat gauravat sarve
Te tu tat gauravat sarve
tyakta krida parichada
tyakta klira parichadaya
bala adushita dhiyo
bala adusito
dvandvara merite hite
dvanda amara merite
pariyupasata rajendra
paryupasata rajendra
tanyasta hridaye kshana
tadnyasta hridaya shanah
tan aha karuno maitro
tan aha karuno metro
mahabhagavato sura.
Mahabhagavato Sura.
My dear King Yudhishthir, all the children were very much affectionate and respectful to Prahlad Maharaj. And because of their tender age, they were not so polluted by the instructions and actions of their teachers, who were attached to condemned duality and bodily comfort. Thus the boys surrounded Prahlad Maharaj, giving up their playthings, and sat down to hear him. Their hearts and eyes being fixed upon him, they looked at him with great earnestness. Prahlad Maharaj, although born in a demon family, was an exalted devotee, and he desired their welfare. Thus he began instructing them about the futility of materialistic life. So he's compassionate. Before they were there with him, but they were not hearing from him. Now they're sitting down. They want to hear now what he has to say. The words Bala Adushita Diya indicate that the children, being of a tender age, were not as polluted by materialistic life as their fathers. It's true, no? We see that generally, that children are more easier to take up spiritual life. Prahlad Maharaj, therefore, taking advantage of the innocence of his class friends, began teaching them about the importance of spiritual life and the insignificance of materialistic life. Although the teachers Shanda and Amarka were instructing all the boys in the materialistic life of religion, economic development, and sense gratification, the boys were not much polluted. Therefore, with great attention, they wanted to hear from Prahlad Maharaj about Krishna consciousness with great attention. So now they are eagerly, they are showing how to hear with attention, Prabhupada is saying. In our Krishna consciousness movement, the Gurukula plays an extremely important part in our activities because right from childhood, the boys at the Gurukul are instructed about Krishna consciousness. And some of the boys, they really, we can see that such small children and so Krishna conscious. It's amazing. Thus, they become steady within the cores of their hearts, and there is very little possibility that they will be conquered by the modes of material nature when they are older. Thus, end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 7th canto, 5th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Prahlāda Mahārāja, the saintly son of Hiranyakashipu. So that brings us to the end of this chapter. Do you all want to say anything about this chapter?
Chant.
Chant. Good. Very good. Okay. Then going on. Chapter 6, Prahlāda instructs his demoniac schoolmates. So Srila Prabhupada has put kind of a summary of the chapter here. First we'll read it, then we'll go text by text. This chapter describes Prahlāda Mahārāja's instructions to his class friends. In speaking to his friends, who were all sons of demons, Prahlāda Mahārāja stressed that every living entity, especially in human society, must be interested in spiritual realization from the very beginning of life. When human beings are children, they should be taught that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the worshipable deity for everyone. It's true, no? Like from childhood, if one is given the training, then there is no confusion. From childhood, one is taught principles of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, that the Supreme Lord is the controller, the proprietor. There is the worshipable deity of everyone. One should not be very much interested in material enjoyment. Instead, one should be satisfied with whatever material profits are easily obtainable. And because the duration of one's life is very short, one should utilize every moment for spiritual advancement. So we think we have very long life. We think sometimes, oh, the time is not passing. Oh my God, what to do? But actually, our life is very short. If we see how the days are passing by, the weeks are passing by, the years are passing by, then we say, oh, wow. When we are in that moment, we may think, oh, it's very long. I have long time. But if we look back, time is flying by. As we say, time flies. One may wrongly think in the beginning of our lives, let us enjoy material facilities, and in old age, we may become Krishna conscious. Such materialistic thoughts are always useless, because in old age, one cannot be trained in the spiritual way of life. Therefore, from the very beginning of life, one should engage in devotional service. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. This is the duty of all living entities. So we just heard the duty of every living entity. We heard in the previous chapter also. And Jivera Swarup hai Krishna Nitya Das. Every living entity, our Swarup is we are servants of Krishna. So it's our duty to engage in devotional service. And then that training needs to be given right from childhood, because we say, okay, old age, we are too old to learn new tricks, We are. But anyway, we come later also in life, we coming in old age also. At least let's have a beginning. Wherever we are coming from, let's have a beginning. So this is, okay, material education is infected by the three modes of nature, but spiritual education, for which there is a great need in human society, is transcendental. Prahlāda Mahārāja disclosed the secret of how he had received instructions from Narad Muni. By accepting the lotus feet of Prahlāda Mahārāja, who is in the Parampara succession, one will be able to understand the mode of spiritual life. And accepting this mode of activity, there is no need for material qualifications. So Prabhupada is saying that by following the instructions of Prahlāda Mahārāja, after Prahlāda Mahārāja's class friends had listened to Prahlāda Mahārāja, they inquired how he had become so learned and advanced. In this way, the chapter ends. So this is what we are going to hear now. Shri Prahlāda Vachan.
Shri Prahlāda
Prahlāda Vachan.
Kaumara Acharit pragyo
Kaumara acharet prage.
dharman bhagavatan iha
Dharma
Bhagavatan
durlabham manusham janma
Durlabhamanusam janma
tad api adhrubam arthadam.
tad api dhruvam arthadam.
Prahlāda Maharaj said, one who is sufficiently intelligent should use the human form of body from the very beginning of life, in other words, from the tender age of childhood, to practice the activities of devotional service, giving up all other engagements. The human body is most rarely achieved, and although temporary like other bodies, it is meaningful because in human life one can perform devotional service. Even a slight amount of sincere devotional service can give one complete perfection. The whole purpose of Vedic civilization and of reading the Vedas is to attain the perfect stage of devotional service in the human form of life. So, all the Vedas, what they are trying to tell us, engage in devotional service. You have the human form of life, engage in devotional service. According to the Vedic system, therefore, from the very beginning of life, the brahmacharya system is introduced so that from one's very childhood, from the age of 5 years, one can practice modifying one's human activities so as to engage perfectly in devotional service. So Prabhupada is saying that's why the training is given from when one is very small. So then one knows how to live the life, what kind of activities to do. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Swalpam api asya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Chapter 2, text 40. Even a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. That Krishna is saying you engage little bit also in devotional service can protect you. Yeah? Modern civilization, not referring to the verdicts of Vedic literature, is so cruel to the members of human society that instead of teaching children to become brahmacharis, it teaches mothers to kill their children, even in the womb, on the plea of curbing the increase of population. And if by chance a child is saved, he's educated only for sense gratification. So here we can see that how Prabhupada is saying what modern civilization is doing to us. We are not taught God consciousness, but whereas what we are taught to engage more and more in sinful activity, get more and more entangled in this material world. Gradually, throughout the entire world, human society is losing interest in the perfection of life. Indeed, men are living like cats and dogs, spoiling the duration of their human lives by actually preparing to transmigrate again to the degraded species among the 8,400,000 forms of life. So the modern society is in fact encouraging us to waste our time in this human body, which is given to us for spiritual realization. Eating, sleeping, mating, defending, we can do even in animal bodies, even in bird bodies. But spiritual realization, we can do only in this human body. The Krishna consciousness movement is anxious to serve human society by teaching people to perform devotional service, which can save a human being from being degraded again to animal life. So we can see the Srila Prabhupada's urgency, his anxiety to give Krishna consciousness to everyone. He's anxious that everyone is suffering. They're going to die at any moment. They would have wasted this life. Let's give Krishna consciousness to everyone. So at least they don't have to become animals. As already stated by Prahlāda Mahārāja, Bhagavad Dharma consists of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atma Nivedanam. In all the schools, colleges, and universities, and at home, all children and youths should be taught to hear about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Bhagavad Dharma, Prabhupada is saying, Shravanam, Kirtanam, all the 9 processes of bhakti. So, given opportunity from young age, give an opportunity to the children to hear about God. In other words, they should be taught to hear the instructions of Bhagavad Gita, to put them into practice in their lives, and thus to become strong in devotional service, free from fear of being degraded to animal life. So when from childhood one is given the training, one can hear these instructions, one will know how to act, one's life will be molded in that way, engage in devotional service, then there is no fear that we will go to the animal species. Following the Bhagavad Dharma has been made extremely easy in this age of Kali. The Shastra says, Hare Nam, Hare Nam eva kevalam. Kalo naste va gatir anyatha. One need only chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Everyone engaged in the practice of chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra will be completely cleansed from the core of his heart and be saved from the cycle of birth and death. So that's what the scriptures are telling us. Our process for self-realization in this age is to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That's the process given to us for this age. So we'll stop here. Did you all want to add anything or say anything?
Good.
Okay, so we'll stop here for today. Thank you so much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Prahlāda Mahārāja ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare